Hello, everybody. My name's Alex Metzger, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about traction strategies that we can use when we're starting to develop marketing campaigns. We have a couple different options when we want to start to think about how we want to campaign our items, how we want to start segmenting ourselves, positioning ourselves in our marketing mix. But in the way that we're going to reach our consumers and our customers, we have to decide whether we are going to push or we are going to pull. So I'd like to talk about the two different ways that we can do that today and get into some of the deeper reasons on how we can build brand identity through these two methods. When we start to think about pulling, search engine marketing is going to be the way that we're going to think about it, using keywords and market segmentation to draw customers in and get them really invested in our brand, our products, and generate leads through a more passive way. On the flip side, if we want to take a more active approach in our marketing campaigns, we can build PR traction through standard channels such as television, YouTube, social media, online sources, or we could go more unconventional routes with guerrilla marketing techniques and more pragmatic approaches. Regardless, we're going to have to fold our PR and SEO strategies into our marketing mix and our campaign in order to concretely create a strong brand identity and, in general, make a successful campaign. Let's dive in, shall we? We start to think about building a brand identity and building brand traction. It's not going to be something that just happens naturally. We're not going to always get the lucky strike of going viral. We're not going to, hit big on everything and have people flooding into our website. It's just not going to happen. Marketing is something that requires a very concentrated plan, understanding our target market, knowing their wants, their habits, their needs, understanding the industry, how we're going to go about things. And we had to have the option of, if we're going to get them to come to us, we're going to make it really easy to get them to come to us. Or if we want to go to them, we should be understanding where they're going to be so that we can meet them at the point. That's our goal. So starting on the coming to us section, the pulling, SEO, search engine optimization, search engine marketing strategies, segmentation, whatever you want to call it. We want people to come to us at the top of the marketing funnel and have it be a really easy way for us to access the site. We're going to optimize our offerings in search engines by bidding on keywords and making sure that when our target market, the person that we've established, is going to come to us, they are looking and they're searching for the correct keywords in the search engine. And we're going to be at the very top of their list and make it extremely easy for them to get in contact and start moving down our funnel, as well as start to monitor the progress and understand what those users are looking for. The three ways that I like to think about this are going to be keywords, the target market relevance, and then the funnel conversion goals. Starting off with keywords, the whole game here is how we're going to manage our budget. We want to make our cost per click lower than our click-through rate, right? We want people engaging on our site, generating leads, and that should really give us the best bang for our buck when we're setting up our keywords. It all comes back to our target market. If we have Seashell Sally and she's looking to get a new beach bag, we want the right words in there so that when she's looking for her beach bag and the beach and the woman and everything there and there, that's the important keyword, we want that on there. And so that comes through a lot of deep market segmentation research. We're going to do internal testing, set up our hypothesis for what we think is going to be the best thing, and then do external testing to validate and quantify that hypothesis. We talk a lot about validated learnings and being able to learn from this, and this is going to be something that is going to take a lot of time. This is an approach that pays dividends down the road, especially if we are a startup or a very early phase in the marketing plan, and if we can start to understand what's going to work at a smaller scale of our target market. As we scale, it begins to become our golden goose egg, and people can start flooding into the site because we've already done testing and understand what we want. Activities, industry specifics, seasonal trends, it's more about understanding how we're going to position ourselves in the marketing mix and where these keywords are going to be most effective in generating strong activity. We want to make sure that this is both relevant to our target market as well as that we are effective in our bidding process so that CPC is not going to exceed the amount of impressions that we will gain from our CTR. Having a good process, qualifying it, and then going back and refining these keywords is going to be key. The second thing I really want to talk about here is that setting campaign goals. There's a misconception that with this process, if we set up everything perfectly and we have great keywords, we're always going to generate sales. Every conversion is going to be a sale. But I'm not sure that's the case. It definitely depends on your industry. But I must say, I think that getting someone's email or getting them to accept some cookies, we have the ability to use real user monitoring to see where our customers are coming in and out of the sites and starting to understand how relevant our product is going to be for what they were searching for. This is part of that external and internal testing I was talking about earlier, and we can qualify our hypothesis by setting up these campaign goals and understanding where we want to get out of it. Some campaigns are purely for impressions and gaining leads and really generating those so that then we can make sales conversions down the line. But understanding what customers are coming to us for is very important, and how we can label our industry to be more specific as well as our tests to be more specific is a great way to start setting them up to move further and further down the funnel. And as well as that, understanding the KPIs of what it takes a customer to go down the funnel. What does it take them to get to the website and actually get to the checkout point? That's an important test, and that's something that our sales and marketing department can work better on. And so these inbound and outbound strategies can be really reinforced by strong use of keywords. So in a quick recap of this section, we're going to really refine the keywords so that we can have a really strong CPC to CTR balance, and then push those processes back and create a strong hypothesis as a result. On the opposite side of the ball, we can push, and we can push through PR. Using PR in an authentic way when customers are not necessarily coming to us, so we go to them, is going to be a really important way to get our brand way out there and generate strong traction. Authentic PR is one of the things that can bring customers in because we are saying things to them that align with their values and beliefs. They're seeing something and they're hearing it, and they're not just brushing it off as another ad. We're using, once again, these segmentation strategies to position ourselves well for our target market, but we're doing it in a more authentic and active way rather than the passive way of the SEM. There's two directions we can kind of swing on this process, and those are going to be kind of standard PR channels as well as unconventional PR channels. In the standard format, you have B2B solutions, TV, YouTube, multimedia, social media, we'll get to that in a moment, and the kind of ways that people are really used to consuming media. We're going to generate this traction using brand loyalty and driving conversions on these more traditional formats, YouTube advertisements, influencers, TV advertisements, things that people know and understand. I'm going to circle back to social media here really quickly, because when we're thinking about generating leads, social media is by far and away one of the best options we can take here. I will say, however, I'm not sure it's necessary depending on the strategy. What you're selling, take Listerine, for example, right? If you're just selling a base product that someone's going to use no matter what, the brand identity that the customer is going to take with it is not necessarily the most important thing. Social media is great if you're trying to build a brand and the messaging, think Tom's shoes for an example, right? But if we can't get them to buy into that, that social media investment can be more harmful almost and a waste of resources than a benefit. However, it's an excellent place to generate leads. You can see what your friends, coworkers, people in your target market are wearing and buying and doing. And so it gives us a lot of opportunity to help people get further and further down the funnel, as well as buy into what we are starting to build here. We're generating traction in a more standard way, and this is where the unconventional section comes in. I'm a big fan of dynamic marketing. Marketers by trade are pragmatic people, and as you see at the bottom of the screen, I want to point out McDonald's, right? They've got this crosswalk here that has been turned into a box of French fries, and I love it. I mean, it's pure marketing, right? It's shock and awe, that kind of like, it makes you think, it's activating some neurons, and it's really getting you going. It makes me want some McDonald's. This kind of dynamic use of marketing strategies is outside of the norm, and where you can just scroll things away on TikTok and social media, you can't ignore something that you're seeing live in front of you. And I think personally this is one of the best ways to generate brand traction because it's different and it's unconventional. And so understanding what your target market really values, the kind of things they enjoy, is going to let these dynamic marketing strategies really thrive, and it's one of the more interesting ways to approach this PR concept. I want to talk a bit about combining these strategies we've been kind of looking at push and pull as a very separate way of generating traction, but these things can feed into each other very well. When someone's searching and they're learning a lot more about your company through really effective SEO optimization, that could lead them to be more vulnerable on algorithms to the PR, and that can lead to website visitation, generating mentions, tons of leads, and it works back the other way. Someone gets a great ad from you, maybe they go searching for it, and boom, welcome to my funnel, right? So starting to make strong metrics of like how we are going to pull these things together is one of the great ways we can create traction, because as it works in a funnel, you have to go in a circle to eventually get to the bottom. Another thing that's very important to note is that traction by terminology is not something that's inherently sustainable. Yes, you are going up and up and you're continuing to build, but unless you're the US stock market, you're not going to keep growing indefinitely forever. So learning from trends and the big spike points and being able to fold that back into your process is a really key way in which we can start to really optimize our process. I can't keep hammering this home enough, but understanding what the target market and the segmentation of our marketing mix is really doing correctly is one of the best ways that we can build our businesses. So utilizing these trends as opportunities to understand what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong is a great way to really reinforce the core messaging as well as refine it, so that when we're building up this brand traction, we're also solidifying a strong brand identity on things that we know can work. So I want to thank you guys for listening to me today. This is something that I really enjoy talking about, and even though this was originally a class project, I enjoyed diving into the weeds and doing some more research on this. If anyone has any comments, drop them in the comments, and thank you for listening.